You're brushing your teeth. Not actually brushing them anymore, by the way. The toothbrush is still in your hand, but mentally you've been somewhere else for the last 8 minutes. Maybe you're explaining to an old friend why they were wrong about you. Maybe you're on a podcast that doesn't exist. Maybe you're finally saying something you've rehearsed 100 times but never had the courage to say out loud. Then you look in the mirror and realize you've been staring at the same spot the entire time. Most people think daydreaming is just random thoughts drifting through your head. This isn't that. This is when your imagination becomes a destination, a place you keep returning to without even deciding to go there. One second you're washing dishes, folding clothes, or sitting on a bus, and the next second you've built an entire alternate reality where your life finally makes sense. Someone finally understands you. The relationship works out. The opportunity comes back. The argument ends differently. And for a few minutes, everything feels exactly the way you wish it felt in real life. What's fascinating is that most people who do this don't immediately see it as a problem, because it doesn't feel like wasting time. It feels like relief. Inside your head, nobody interrupts you halfway through a sentence. Nobody misunderstands what you meant. Nobody responds with a blank stare after you've spent 10 minutes trying to explain something important. Everything unfolds exactly the way you hoped it would. Reality rarely offers that kind of control. Psychologists call this maladaptive daydreaming, a phenomenon where imagined experiences become so immersive and emotionally rewarding that they start competing with real life. But even that definition doesn't fully capture what it feels like. Because these fantasies aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're incredibly ordinary. A conversation that finally goes right. A friendship that feels effortless. A version of yourself that's more confident, more respected, more loved, more understood. The fantasy isn't random. It's usually pointing towards something you're missing. The person constantly imagining people appreciating them may have spent years feeling invisible. The person replaying arguments may never have felt heard. The person imagining perfect relationships may be carrying loneliness they rarely talk about. In that sense, your imagination isn't creating meaningless stories. It's trying to solve emotional problems reality never fully resolved. It's giving you the understanding, connection, safety, or closure that you couldn't find elsewhere. And that's why it becomes so hard to leave. Not because the stories are entertaining, but because they provide emotional experiences that feel real. The danger comes when the brain slowly learns that it's easier to experience life mentally than to actually live it. It's easier to imagine being understood than risk being misunderstood. Easier to imagine success than face failure. Easier to imagine connection than risk rejection. So the mind keeps choosing the safer option until one day you realize you've spent years mentally visiting places you've never physically gone. But the ability to create entire worlds inside your head isn't evidence that something is wrong with you. It's evidence that your mind is capable of extraordinary depth. The real question isn't whether you should stop imagining. It's whether those imagined worlds are helping you build a better reality or quietly becoming a substitute for one. Because the tragedy isn't that you imagined so deeply. It's that somewhere along the way, the safest version of your life became the one that only existed inside your head.